The third revelation, collective, progressive, and universal. The so-called third revelation does not focus on a single messenger. Nasceu e cresce coletivamente, alcançando pessoas de todas as condições e lugares, como se muitos pontos de luz fossem acendidos ao mesmo tempo no mundo. É uma revelação por motivo, convidando verificação e exame gratuito. Kardec explica que, ao contrário de Moisés e Jesus, a terceira revelação não tem um profeta exclusivo. It spreads simultaneously and broadly, without privilege of worship, to serve as a bridge among all. The image is clear, a truth that does not depend on an individual, but on the contribution of many, fostering humility, dialogue, and shared responsibility. If the first two revelations radiated from a historical point, the third burst into multiple centers, like circles expanding in water until covering the surface. The logic is network-based. Local experiences, when compared and shared, form a more solid body of knowledge than isolated testimonies. Here, the approach to modern science is direct. Reproducible results reviewed by many tend to be more reliable than solitary findings, since it springs from laws of nature and not from the will of a single agent. The movement does not end with attacks on individuals or groups. Even if suppressed in one region, it would emerge in another, because the source is not in people, but in the principles and facts that support them. It is the logic of robust discoveries. When they are real, they reappear and are confirmed in different observation contexts. The existence of many centers required a practical connection between them. Kardec points out the function of publications, to condense in common language and clear methodology what appears scattered. In contemporary terms, it is the usefulness of documentation, the repository, and the reporting standard. Without this, each center would remain isolated and the whole would lose coherence. Kardec contrasts the character of the Mosaic Law, rigid, disciplinary, and imposed on an immature people, with the teachings of Jesus, persuasive, dialogical, accepted by conviction. Evolution is not of essential moral content, but of method, from duty by authority to conscious adherence, which admits debate and appeals to reason and the heart. Reaching a time of greater intellectual maturity, the third revelation does not dispense with human work. The spirits offer principles and materials. It is up to man to research, discuss, verify, and experiment. The parallel with the scientific method is evident. Distinguish what is a principle from what is a hypothesis. Subject hypotheses to testing, adjust conclusions to what the facts support. The invitation is to a new way of living faith, reasoned, dialogical, humble before the facts, and therefore confident. The strength of the third revelation is not in slogans, but in the coherence between principle, observation, and moral transformation, exactly as occurs with all true knowledge that bears good fruit. If this message helped, support the project, like, comment with your reflection, and share so that more people find light with respect, serenity, and study.